I need to tell you about the door. The door in the hallway of my old apartment. It's a story I don't tell often, mostly because I still can't explain it. But it's time. So, I moved into this place about 5 years ago. It was an older building, you know the kind, with thick walls, creaky floorboards, and the distinct smell of old wood and history. I loved it. It had character. My apartment was on the 3rd floor, a cozy one-bedroom. The layout was a bit odd. You'd walk in, and there was this long, narrow hallway leading to the living room. On the left side of this hallway, there were 2 doors. The first one was the bathroom, and the second, well, that was the weird one. It was a linen closet. A small, unassuming white door with a simple brass knob. From day one, there was something off about it. It just wouldn't stay closed. I'd shut it, hear the latch click, walk away, and a few minutes later, I'd find it slightly ajar. At first, I blamed the building. I thought, okay, old house, uneven foundation, the frame is probably warped. It made sense, right? So, I didn't think much of it. I'd just close it again, maybe push a little harder and go about my day. This went on for weeks. It became a routine. Wake up, find the closet door open. Come home from work, doors open. I even tried wedging a piece of cardboard under it, but somehow it would still manage to pop open. It was annoying, but I brushed it off as a quirk of the apartment. Then things started to get stranger. One evening, I was in the living room watching a movie. I was home alone, all the windows were shut, and it was dead silent except for the film. I'd made sure to firmly shut that closet door before I settled down on the couch. I specifically remember hearing the click. Halfway through the movie, out of the corner of my eye, I saw movement in the hallway. I paused the TV. I listened. Nothing, just silence. I told myself it was just a shadow, a trick of the light. But then I saw it. The hallway was dark, but the faint light from the TV screen cast a long, thin sliver of light onto the opposite wall. It was the reflection from the brass doorknob of the closet, and as I watched frozen, the sliver of light began to move. It glided slowly, silently across the wall as the door swung open. Not just a little ajar this time. It swung all the way open until it was flat against the hallway wall. My heart was pounding in my chest. There was no sound. No creak, no click, nothing. Just a silent, deliberate motion. It wasn't a draft. A draft doesn't open a door that slowly and that wide. I sat there for what felt like an eternity, just staring into the dark hallway at the black rectangle where the open doorway was. I couldn't move. I was terrified. I eventually mustered the courage to get up and turn on the hallway light. I looked inside the closet. Just sheets and towels, exactly as I'd left them. Nothing out of place. I slammed the door shut, my hand trembling, and this time I locked it. The knob had one of those little push-button locks. I pushed it in and twisted it until it was secure. I thought, there? It can't open now. I was wrong. I had a terrible night's sleep, as you can imagine. The next morning, I woke up, and the first thing I did was check the hallway. The light was still on, and the closet door was wide open. The lock was disengaged. It had popped back out. Now, I know what you might be thinking, faulty lock, right? Right? Now, I know what you might be thinking, faulty lock, right? Now, that's what I tried to tell myself. But how does a faulty lock disengage itself and then the door swings all the way open without a sound? The logical part of my brain was in overdrive, trying to find a rational explanation. Air pressure changes, the building settling, a very specific silent draft that only affects one door. None of it felt right. The feeling in the apartment had shifted. It no longer felt cozy. It felt like I was being watched. The door incident became more frequent. But it was the way it happened that was so unsettling. It was never violent. It never slammed. It was always this slow, quiet, deliberate opening. Sometimes I'd be in the kitchen cooking and I'd just get this feeling. I'd turn around and sure enough, through the doorway, I could see it. The white door, slowly moving. One night, I decided to test it. I was feeling brave or maybe just stupidly curious. I set up my phone on a small table at the end of the hallway, pointing directly at the door. I made sure it was shut and locked. I hit record and went into my bedroom, leaving the bedroom door slightly ajar so I could peek out. I waited. For about an hour, nothing happened. I was starting to feel a bit silly, thinking maybe I was just losing my mind. And then it started. I heard a faint click. Not the latch, but the sound of the push-button lock popping out. I peeked through the crack in my bedroom door. The closet doorknob was no longer locked. And then very, very slowly, the door began to open. Inch by silent inch, it moved with a smoothness that was just unnatural. It wasn't like a door on hinges. It was more like it was gliding. It swung open until it was fully flat against the wall, and then it just stopped. The hallway was dark, and all I could see was that gaping black square. I grabbed my phone the next morning. I was almost too scared to watch the footage. But I had to know. I played the video, and everything was there, exactly as I saw it. The click of the lock, the slow, silent opening of the door. There was no one there. No strings, no wind, nothing. Just the door moving on its own. But that's not the creepiest part. As I was watching the video, I turned the volume all the way up, listening for any sound I might have missed. And just as the door began to open, I heard it. It was incredibly faint, almost imperceptible. A sound that my ears hadn't picked up during the night. It was a whisper. I couldn't make out what it was saying. It was just a soft, raspy sound, like someone exhaling a single long word right as the door started to move. I played it back over and over again. It was definitely there. A human whisper coming from the direction of the closet. That was it for me. That was the point where I went from being spooked to being genuinely terrified. This wasn't just a quirky old building anymore. I didn't know what was in that closet or what was attached to that door, but I knew I didn't want to be there to find out. I started looking for a new apartment the very next day. I didn't spend another night alone in that place. I stayed with a friend until I found a new place and my lease was up. During the day, when I had to go back to pack, I would prop that closet door open. I didn't want to see it move again. When the movers came, one of them asked me, "Hey, you want this closet door shut?" And before I could even think, I yelled, "No, just leave it, please." He gave me a weird look, but he left it open. I never found out what was behind that phenomena. I talked to the landlord, but he claimed no one had ever complained about anything strange before. I don't know if I believe him. All I know is that for 6 months I lived with a door that had a life of its own. A door that would unlock itself and open silently in the middle of the night, accompanied by a whisper I never want to hear again. I still think about it sometimes, especially late at night. I wonder if the new tenant notices. I wonder if they stand in that hallway and watch as that simple white door slowly swings open by itself. Thanks for listening to my story. If you've ever experienced something you can't explain, let me know in the comments. And make sure to subscribe for more strange tales. See you next time.